box like that, but with a Holyfield chin. There ain't a situation that I can't win. Only hot shit coming out my pen. Niggas like that nerd rap, I noticed the trend. Simping on records, man, that ain't hood. But when I point it out, man, that ain't. Alright, so let's talk about the Stevenson and Cloud fight that happened last weekend. It was a real great performance by Stevenson. He boxed effectively. He threw and landed big shots, and he pretty much just outclassed Cloud from the get-go. You know, it was a real good, solid performance, real perfect performance when you really think about it. He never really got hurt, never took any big punch from Cloud, although a lot of people expected him to. So you gotta just give Stevenson his props when you really think about it. For this whole year, he avenged his loss to Darnell Boone, knocked him out. He knocked out the lineal champion in Chad Dawson in one round. And then he beats a top 5 light heavyweight former title holder in Cloud. And not only just beats him, you know, he doesn't just win a decision or win a lopsided decision. He destroys Cloud. He makes the man quit. You know, his corner had to throw in the towel. So you got to really just put things in perspective, because when you look at all these expert predictions and the message boards, a lot of people were giving Cloud, you know, a good shot. And most people thought, you know, I can't even say most, like I haven't met not one person who didn't think this fight was going to be competitive. And Stevenson just did it. He just did his thing. The fight wasn't competitive at all. One thing that I noticed Cloud could have done to maybe give himself a bigger opportunity to win or at least land something, I felt he followed Stevenson too much, you know, and he really just kind of hurt himself with that, because if he would have cut off the ring, especially the moments when Stevenson was up against the ropes, you know, Stevenson would just pivot, turn him, get off the ropes, and Cloud never just dipped low and just shot to the right, just moved to his right, which is Stevenson's left. You know, because if he would have did that, he would have cut the ring off, and then he could land body shots and wear Stevenson down. And Stevenson would have to adapt to that tactic. Stevenson would be forced to throw a left uppercut, because if Cloud would have been on him like that, it would have smothered his left hand. And so then Stevenson can't really throw those big power shots where, you know, he has all his room and leverage. He would get that left hand smothered, and he'd be forced to throw an uppercut or do something else. But, you know, if you're beating a guy a certain way and they're not making you do anything else, then you just keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, that's what Stevenson did. So he's definitely a candidate for fighter of the year, you know. But let's see how things go. I'd like to see him fight Kovalev by next year. Those two guys, you know, that'll be a real big super fight for the light heavyweight division. Before this fight, I felt Kovalev would get him, but now I'm not so sure, man. I mean, that's a 50-50 fight if there ever was one. So I like to see their paths cross in the future. You know, good fight for Stevenson, though. Real shit. Good performance. So let's talk about the robbery and the fuckery of the whole Chavez Jr. Brian Vera fight. And truth be told, it wasn't even one of the biggest robberies, you know. It could have very well been a draw, or if you would have had all 3 judges say it was a 96-94 for Chavez Jr., it wouldn't look as bad. It just those other 2 scorecards really fucked it up. But in my personal opinion, even though I picked Chavez Jr. to win I believe a mid-round knockout or a late-round knockout, I thought he lost the fight. I thought Brian Vera really made him look bad. He outworked him, out-hustled him. And that's what was happening for the first part of the fight, the first half. But towards the end, he was really making Chavez, you know, really look bad. He was landing big shots, and he started rocking Chavez Jr. and backing him up. Now, I'm not saying Chavez Jr. was complete garbage, because he did land some good counter punches. He landed some good shots. He did rock Vera on occasion. It looked like he hurt him one time. But this is the thing. I really think Chavez Jr. really wasn't in the best shape of his career. You know, he kind of just sucked that night. He really just underperformed, because the thing is, every time he landed a good shot on Vera, he just couldn't go beast mode. He couldn't step in with Vera and put more combinations together and really take him out of there. He'll land a good shot,
And then it's like he would let Vera get recomposed and, you know, come back with his assault. And that's not going to do it with Vera. You got to really just put the punishment on dude, because Vera's tough. You know, he's no scrub. You know, we all thought this was going to be a competitive fight, but most people thought Chavez Jr. would dominate this kid, and he didn't. You know, that sucks for him. And, you know, it sucks for fans because we got another bullshit decision. But I don't think it was no robbery of the year or anything, but it was fucked up. Like, a robbery of the year to me was damn the Beltran-Ricky Burns fight. Now, Beltran really got a sore deal on that shit, because I felt he won at least 8 rounds of that fight, and he had a knockdown, and he only got a draw. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. It was Chavez Jr. I hope he doesn't, you know, come in this out of shape and this complacent in his next fight. He really could turn things around, because it looked like Mexico and everybody just look like they just want to stop fucking with him. It's like he's been getting so many chances to redeem himself and take shit serious, and he just don't care, you know. So it's really a bad look on his part. But truth be told, you know, I think Chavez Jr. kind of peaked in the Andy Lee fight. That was the last time I could remember him being in good condition and not really hearing anything about his weight. You know, he didn't try to do that backwards, half-ass boxing, buy time and rest type of shit that he was doing. He really just came forward, sold out to the body, broke Andy Lee down, and he had a good performance. I think that was the best we'll ever see Chavez Jr. look. You know, unfortunately, you know, it's fucked up because his career is in a position where you expect more out of him, but I don't know if he's going to reach that next level yet, you know, but we'll see. Now, I haven't spoken on the Canelo Floyd fight, so I'm going to just give y'all my brief post-fight thoughts on that matchup, you know, how that went down. I thought it was a good, solid performance from Floyd. I wasn't blown away or anything. It wasn't a boring fight or anything. He stood with him. He punched with him. He made Canelo get frustrated. He befuddled him with boxing skills, but I didn't see it as the complete, perfect, masterful, classic type of performance that a lot of people were ranting and raving about. I just saw Floyd soundly outbox Canelo. He befuddled him, like I said, frustrated him, out-jabbed him, landed some good, solid, clean punches. But I wasn't blown away or anything by the performance. I think Floyd has had better, much better performances in that fight, actually. And I felt, you know, he could have really beat up Canelo a lot more, because Canelo, he didn't get his ass kicked to me. You saw his face had a little swelling, you know, a little bruise, but it was nothing serious. I think Canelo held his own. I felt Canelo probably won maybe 2 rounds, 3 at the very most, but no more than that. And so the draw was ridiculous, and even the 4 rounds that the other judges gave Canelo, I thought that was kind of a bit much. But I would say this, Canelo, he did make the rounds competitive and close. It just, I felt Floyd just did enough every round to edge him out, you know, he got hit less, he made sure he hit Canelo a little more, and he won the rounds, you know, but nothing breathtaking like that. But I'll say this, like, you could tell when Floyd respects somebody, when he respects his opponents, because it comes, you see it in the offense. Whenever Floyd doesn't really respect you like that, he really lets his hands go, and I didn't see that with Canelo. I thought he was a little too respectful with Canelo, because there was times where he could have really sold out and put it on Canelo when he didn't, and I felt like he knew Canelo was baiting him sometimes, so he didn't want to do it, or Canelo was moving his head a little bit too much, so he couldn't really just hone in and just dominate the kid like, you know, people expected him to. But the fight kind of turned out a little kind of like how I thought it would be. I thought Canelo would do a little better as far as winning round wise, but you know, he was hanging in there with him. But at the end of the day, he got outclassed. You know, he got solidly outclassed. Like, he just ain't really have any answers for anything Floyd was doing. And I think the strategy really just comes down to, you know, throwing more punches and, you know, being more aggressive. You know, that was the biggest thing about him. He didn't have the work rate, the stamina to really do that shit. So I think that's what hurt him the most. But I felt he didn't get no type of ass whooping where he can't improve off of this and go on and make bigger fights and improve and get better. But we'll see. You know, it was a good, solid fight.